I sat and I developed different ways of winding a copper wire with the center of copper wire, the same as you done, without nanocoating. And then I set out to create a motion in magnetic field through circular ring copper, what do you call it, coils. I wanted the coils in a specific way that it created continuous motion of the fields without observation of the motion. What does this mean? This means that it's a very specific way to design these things. As you, in a coil system, you have to rotate a magnet that the coil can pick up the vibration of the change of the fields that you create current. But there is another way to produce matter current too. That is by perpetual motion, which is invisible but active in the matter state. So what you have, now your coil on the spine in the middle, the copper wire which goes right across, becomes the static part inside the rotating magnetic field or active magnetic field. What this means, you are at the present time, with the knowledge which man carries, all the coils sit outside and we rotate the magnet inside. The technology which this man has created is brought the coil inside with moving the magnets outside, but in an invisible way of motion. So as the current moves over to go through what we call a canonical structure, due to the variation in the favorite word of Marco, gradient in the strength, this creates a motion of magnetic fields, which that variation is absorbed in the matter level strength by the coil in the center. Now, that technology produces kilowatts. I have replicated it and it's correct. Now what you have to look at with what you've done is that inside the coil is a matter state. Outside the coil is a nano state. And then you have centralized the field with the center wire in a matter state. What you got to measure is the current flow in the matter state between the matter of the coil and the center wire. And if you can produce matter state electron vibration plasmatic level, then you can create huge amount of current, untold amount of current. What you showed us in the coil winding, you're replicating what we call it the almond reactors, this little copper wire. This is the manifestation of the same thing, but going a step further. You are creating motion of plasmatic condition in the gas state interacting with the current flow of the plasmatic condition in the nano layer, which if you can replicate it and duplicate it a number of times, can lead to AC current as you're looking for in the center column, which is a fraction of the fraction of the fraction of the total power. So what you show as a winding on the copper wire, if you twist it back on its own, go back the way Eric Clausen showed us by twisting. And then we've seen it in recently with Mike trying to explain it totally in his way of thinking, which is not a plasmatic way, but a matter state way. And then understanding that how magnetic field in the plasma condition work, then you understand how you can increase power without actually doing anything. I tried to put the camera on, but I'm going to lose something else with it. Let's see if I can do it, and then I explain to you. You have to bear with me for a few seconds. We are moving.
Yeah, let's. We can get set up for that in the meantime, and please
No,
check
let
your
me
mic
explain.
as well.
I speak
Kesh.
as I'm moving. So what you have to understand, go
We
step
don't see the
further.
video.
No, I haven't put it on yet. You got to be patient.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Okay? Be patient. Be patient. Stop here. If you can see it, we'll try to show it. There's all sorts of things here because we are on a makeshift table at the moment. Can you see it?
Just getting set up. It's black actually right now.
It's black.
Yeah, we have a black screen.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. I know why you have a black screen. Your screen is black because I have to go to my preferences and do your job. Preferences, okay. I'm gonna go to the camera. Camera, yeah, it's a FaceTime. Just wait, logic camera, yes. It's coming up.
It's just resetting itself. Yes, it just came up there now.
Yeah,
Okay, we have a camera image.
We have a
We'll
camera
come through
shadow.
very shortly on the live stream.
Yeah, it's good. If you could check your mic, please.
My mic is very good.
It's a lovely microphone.
You know, we don't believe in advanced technology in Keshe Foundation. We're still stuck in donkeys and all sorts of things. Okay.
It's the tin can with the string that's hard to hear sometimes.
Yeah, it's just the head moves too much. It's too heavy to keep it in one place. There's nothing in it, but it moves too much. Okay, now. Okay, I'll try because I don't have a big marker. Let's see what we can show you. You showed an apple. Now, this apple has a field which goes through it and it comes out of it. Now, if I put another apple here, so we call it this positive negative in talking about plasma has to end because we don't have a positive negative. We have entry and exit. If you get to that point, then you solve half of the problem. So what you have a magnetic field which is exit to entry. Yeah? And then you have the same here. You have an exit to entry. Now, what you have done, be it in a matter state or non-matter state, you have in this place, in this state, in the first two, as you go in a plasma, and as you explained, due to the decay and adding of the energy from the principal matter coming out to the plasma, to the edge of plasma or a reactor, your field, let's say, enters at 1 and exits at 1 plus E. Whatever energy it has added to its mass to come out from the top. Where this energy is lost in the process, partially with the environment, when it enters at the south pole, or what you call south pole, what we call it entry. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so now you have an energy of 1 plus E, which as goes by the same principle in the plasma, comes out 1 plus E plus E. because now it's gained energy from this plasma too, which partially part of this energy here at 1e is equal to what is entering the other exit too, because it's lost in the process in interaction with other fields. So you have a loss here of E minus the losses in the transition. But what you've shown, and this is something you have to understand. I don't expand on it because you have to add to your knowledge by whatever you call it, by understanding the totality, is that now you have a plasma and you have the same plasma here in the same position. Now you have added another plasma in the center. You have locked, because of the physicality, the axes are totally locked in. Now you have brought in additional power supply, meaning in the state of the GANs or nano layer. So what you have here at the exit is 1 plus E, which because of the pressure cannot do anything, has to come and go in the matter state in the nano layer and be added. The same will go the same way, where this state of matter is adding energy to the entry. The same way is adding energy to the entry, which the more energy is added, there are no losses on the magnetic field level. So you start creating a loop of energy production. One thing which none of you have understood up to now is how close you have to bring these two together, if I go further up, that you can force the losses of nanomaterial to zero, but at the same time forcing the nano coating to release energy in a plasmatic level. If you can understand this and you can force the issue, then you break into a layer lower than the nano layer, which is the higher energy power. Don't forget the principle of the plasma. The plasma increases its energy as it goes to the center, because the principal matter unwinds this way. Nobody, none of you have managed to cross this comprehension, this level of understanding, and that's why you are stuck between the two levels of matter and all sorts of games. You are dealing with a matter state and electron vibration between these two, but at this stage, through the nano, you are releasing huge amount of energy, which is in a field level, not in a matter level. And you cannot harvest it, because you are looking in the wrong direction for what to you in matter state is correct. So what you got to do, if you're going to expand this and measurement and the system, and I've seen discussions going around the forums, look at the structure of what I suggested to Arman, and Arman has made a very good copies of it, but still is not reaching it. This is your copper tube, matter. Then you have a nano layer. Then you have a GaNs added. Then you have a nano layer. And then you have the matter. This is the matter and this is the nano layer. Now, if you go back in what I explained in this picture, and if you look at the structure which is here, then you see you have a nanomaterial, You have a GANs of the material in the plasma in more freer state, which can release more energy. And then you have another material which can absorb it in a way of matter state in electron, if you are interested in this. You have to work, find a way where you work between this layer and this layer, not between this layer and the matter inside. This is where you're all losing so much power and you don't see it. If in the coming time we put an aura detector around this, you will see how much the aura of the pipe changes. What we're doing with this layer, with the power supply which is added to it, is by putting another coil inside, which is again has a combination of a matter and nano layer. We are trying to force the release of more nano into a GANs state to pressurize the current flow in this barrier in the center. So in fact, the copper wire inside is getting forced to accept more and more of a plasmatic packages of energy in an electron magnetic field vibration strength. Listen to exactly what I said. I chose the words very, very carefully. You look for a current in the shape of electron vibration, a current. What you are collecting is a residue of leftover of what the plasmas in interaction with the matter state have released in a plasmatic condition as equal packages of energy as what electron vibration will do between two bands of its orbit around the electron in the matter state. So what you have to push, what you have to extend to the knowledge is to understand the vibration and the distance and a gap between these two points in the electron vibration in a matter state. Then you can produce millions and millions of kilowatts from the same process, but you collect it in a plasmatic condition, not in a matter condition. Then you are actually looking for something which is going over your head and you don't see it. And this is where I saw the pictures, I saw the windings you do, but somehow you have not come to comprehend this simple explanation. If you can understand this simple explanation, you can make power systems in gigawatts. Because when the energy enters coming from the North Pole, or coming from what you call it, entry and exit of anyone, when the energy enters, comes in 1 plus E, plus the energy from the plasma, which is being released to it, added to it. So by the time it goes through the center, it's already added and it gets added. So you have such a perfect amplifier of plasmatic energy, and none of you have used it up to now because you don't understand it. This circle here could be the wire which is nano-coated, or this circle in here can be the plasma of a GANs. You have not, and you will have a problem till you come or you do not understand the implication and application of plasmatic magnetic fields. A specific magnetic field, SEPMAF, what we call in the very first book very first chapter. You have to find that specific plasmatic gravitational magnetic field package of a plasma which opens the key to universal energy. Then, from the wires you showed, from the system we have developed here, you can drain what you need when you need. I reckon it'll take you, as at this level, maybe those who understand it and don't work between a matter and a plasma, maybe 2 years. And those who understand it can achieve it by tomorrow. You have to extend the knowledge, but by extending it, you have to understand what it does. You do the same thing when you eat a banana. When the banana enters your digestion system, it becomes in a gaseous state. It means it adds to the energy that allows the energy to expand and for it to extract. In so many ways, if you understand this enforced pressure on the matter state due to the flow of plasma or presence of the plasma, then you enter the universal energy source and is unlimited. You have to create.
This depends on the strength of that nano. Sorry about the delay.
No, don't worry.
To be able to be able to do what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this is the point. This is the point. Sorry, I'm trying to talk to you at the same time, guiding people what to load. It's not very easy. This explains in so many ways why at the moment there is so much problem with people around the chat rooms and others in trying to see, to observe flow or current. This is what I explained to Armand and Marco. What we done in this copper tube, and I explained it again that maybe we can understand it better, is that we have made a copper tube, nano coated. I do in one side because otherwise I'll be going everywhere. Then we have put a coil, which again has a nano coating on it. Then we have put in a GaNs. Then you have put in a copper wire, which on it there is nano coating. What we are doing, we have connected this to a power supply. A very low, 0 voltage, 0.1 amp, 0.2 amp, 0.3 amps, we are increasing it. The reason we are doing this is that by introducing current to the coil, we are releasing, as you all have seen, creating nanolayers, which because of the salt condition we have created in here, releasing these nanomaterials as we can to push them to become a GaNs, that the push exertion on the GaNs materials to the center nanomaterial leads to more pressure on the nanomaterials on here to release their energy as electron packages vibration in the center, that you can observe current flow between the two. Just 1 second, please. Those go in the big container box. Yeah. So what you have to realize, what you have to understand further, is that we are creating a plasmatic magnetic gravitational pressure. This is what the intention is. At what point we manage to release enough material from this plate, from the coil which is placed, that's the point when the gravitational magnetic field of the nanolayer here and the nanolayer here tune to be the same, and you get a massive reduction and release of energy. And this is the part which is not understood and is keep on getting extended on. When you make these coils, try to understand. A scientist at, yes, you have to understand the process of conversion of plasma energy in a plasmatic condition. You just make the tools, you put a nano coating, you wind it, but you don't understand the total concept. It's very much for those who have a physics background. You put a gas in, you increase the pressure, the gas becomes liquid, and then it goes to a solid. Even in the solid state, it's still active matter, but on the outer layers which is behaving as a matter state. That's, as I said in the last talks, the misconception about the minus 270 degrees, that everything will freeze, there is no electron movement. This is the lack of understanding of the man. If the electron does not move around and does not have a vibration around its center by exchange of gravitational magnetic field plasma, then you have achieved the state of GANs. Because now they become unified gas, unified entity, you become unified plasma. This is exactly what you do in this process, as has been done by creating minus 200, 300 degrees to stop. But here you're trying to find the point of the balance between the two fields, and your material is of the same of the two. Copper, nano-coated, copper, nano-coated. You can do it with plastic. You can do it with wood. This is, if you go back and understand this and can replicate it, then it should be very easy to make tools of the measurement for any gravitational magnetic field without even observing and knowing and detecting or being on the point of observation of the field or the matter. You feel the pressure of the universe on your system. You feel the pressure of the galaxy on your system. Then you know which system where creates what pressure. Then it gives you a point that you have to tune into it to be able to be attracted in the opposite direction very much as this system. And if you can do, then your reactor not only gets attracted, but it releases your energy for consumption inside your system. You tap into universal energy. You tap into zero time travel. You tap into zero time communication. Then you dictate the speed of communication. Then you dictate the speed of travel. As you go inwards to the center of the plasma strength, you go out by the speed of magnitude. 100 times the speed of light, 1 billion times the speed of light, 1 billion times the speed of light. Because now you travel at the strength which you have matched not what you have achieved at the speed of light on the matter entity, because you have passed the matter border of the plasma. And if you understand this, in no time, the scientists who understand this can create motion, information transmission, time of travel. This is where I explained to Armin and Marco what could be made, and Armin has made the system. But you all trying to replicate, or some of you are trying to understand it, but understand what sits behind it, what means to work in this way. I kept on telling you in the past, you have to create gravitational plasmatic pressure. Now you see how it's done. Some of you weeks ago went and showed us you can create GANs without caustic by adding a little bit of energy. And I explained to you how you're doing it, and now it's done because you're going the same way. You're creating enough heat on the top layer of the element that is not enough to radiate, but is enough to release the top layer. Resistance between the matter as a copper and the air as a gas. The problem with you understanding is you have done this every day of the winter. You plug in the electricity, your wire, and the coil heats up and you take its heat. Because you are used to in megawatts and kilowatts. You buy electric heater for 2 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt. And then say, oh, it's too much money to pay, I stay cold. But go down to microamp and nanoamps, then you release the nanomaterial as you've seen it. And then you use the power of what you used, you released as a nanomaterial in the gas state to release the power of the universe. And this is what you as totality have in time of teaching, will learn. And this is what I tell you, you live between a schizophrenic, between one another, and you don't know where you are. You have to create enough pressure that allows the gate of the energy as given magnetic gravitational field strength to open up. It's you who has to find out at what level, what mixture. That's why we are, as I always say, we are pushing with the collaboration with the Japanese. Deuterium, the way people say, I can get it on that, is no good to us. Deuterium at the energetic level that become a GANs, and it has to be created through plutonium, which is the easiest way, is what the Japanese are sitting on. The gamma rays which they penetrate, you have to find plasmatic gamma rays which can extract their energy, and it's very easy. Every atom does it every day. Because you have to understand these plasmatic pressure and the work of the plasmatic pressure. And then, if you understand this, you go a step further, which is, in fact, let me clean the table out because everything's here. What you do is you increase plasmatic pressure to each other. The loop, look at the loop. You increase the power by order of magnitude, not from the beginning, but by absorbing more and more and more and more, because there are no losses, but you get addition to. Because in a plasmatic condition, you have another set which sits the same. So this passage of flow of energy, you dictate. And this is exactly, if you understand it, is your copper wire with a winding.